Okay.
Hello, Kat. Welcome to the King's Forum.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I know you're a busy woman, so I appreciate your time.
I know, you're very welcome. Yeah, it's good to finally be able to catch up and get
Yeah.
this.
We've been trying for a while now, haven't we?
I know, we have. I've been terrible. I think I cancelled the last one, didn't I, last minute? But we're here now, so we'll get it done.
Cool. Kat, can you start off just telling a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into like specifics after?
Yeah, sure. So I am Kat Freeman, and I kind of started like my fitness journey with bodybuilding. So I competed in bodybuilding competitions. I did quite well with that, and then I kind of decided I wanted another challenge. So I went kind of into the world of mixed martial arts and Muay Thai. I had some Muay Thai fights and K1. And alongside that, I launched my own business, which is CBD Love. So yeah, and I guess that's what I do over Instagram. I kind of promote my brand over my Instagram.
And do a great job of doing it, to be
Yeah.
honest, I've got to say.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm quite active, I think.
Yeah, you are. And I think that's really important. And I think it shows through your passion about your brand.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I am super passionate about my brand, and like I use my products. I really believe in them, and I think that, like you said, that kind of shows through my Instagram, and I think that's why I've got quite a lot of loyal customers, because it's kind of trust. Like, it's a trust thing where people trust me, so they trust the brand.
And another great thing to why I started following you was you always seem to be having fun, no matter what you do.
Yeah, I like to have fun. Yeah, that's true.
Even with fighting, I was watching one of your fights, and I just remember you smiling, and I was like, okay.
Oh no! One of my fights, that there's footage of me literally getting punched in the face. Like, my hands are bad. My God's like, I'm getting punched in the face, and I'm smiling back at my. Like, anyone watches this, they're gonna think I'm an absolute psycho. Maybe I'm a little bit.
Yeah, but I think that shows like your passion for life itself, and that's what I like. Is like this whole, regardless of the situation, there's this whole positive outlook. That's what it seems like anyway, from the outside looking in. I'm sure
Yeah,
there's different stuff going on and how you're feeling, but it looks like, you know what? Yes, it's tough, but you know what? There's worse things in life I could be doing.
yeah, for sure. Exactly. It's exactly that. And you know what it is as well? I think with the whole, like, before a fight as well, I'd be like dancing, like, before I go on, and everyone's like, this girl's crazy. But what it is for me, the emotions of like nerves, obviously you're going to be nervous before you step in a cage to fight someone. But the emotions of nerves and excitement, I see them as the same emotion, but one's positive and one's negative. So I might be nervous, but I'll channel it into excitement. So I think that's why, excuse me, I think that's why I'm in the cage smiling, because I'm excited to be there. Yeah.
And it's coming out. Okay, I see what you mean. That's the way you express.
Yeah, that's how I express like my nervous energy. I express it as excitement, and when I'm excited, I smile. I think it's that, or I'm just completely nuts and like getting hit in the face.
So you're excited right now?
I'm so excited, yeah.
That's what I can take from that, yeah? Should we start with the bodybuilding side then, if that's where it started, and then put in some order, maybe?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So, Bikini Pro bodybuilding. What was your inspiration for getting into bodybuilding?
So it was really kind of random. I was just like, I've always been quite into the gym and training, like, more for my mental health than anything else. So I think at the time I first entered a bodybuilding competition, I was going through like quite a difficult breakup with somebody. So my way of dealing with the breakup, this is what I've done my whole life. My way of dealing with any negative emotions will be go mad in the gym. It just really helps me. So I was spending a lot of time in the gym lifting weights, and I think a couple of the guys I was training with, they kind of said that, oh, you know, your body composition's changed quite a lot. You've obviously got good genetics for bodybuilding. Why don't you try a competition? And literally I just thought, oh, do you know what? I've heard a lot about these bodybuilding competitions, and I understand they take up all of your time. But in my life, that was what I needed. Like, I needed a distraction from what was happening. So yeah, I just went and committed to the prep, and I absolutely loved it. The whole prep, the whole focus side of things. Yeah, it was what I needed. And and that luckily I managed to end up winning that show, and winning the overall. And yeah, from that moment, I was like, oh, I love this. This is what I want to do.
Did you have an athletic background?
I think, I've just always been quite an athletic person. But other than like school, doing athletics at school, and then when I left school, it would just be like gym classes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you won a few competitions. How did that make you feel?
It's the best thing ever, winning a competition. Yeah, it's fun because the whole day as well is such a fun day. You meet so many good people, and everyone's just kind of buzzing to be there as well, because you've worked so hard for like such a period of time, and this is like the final part. So everyone's buzzing. Yeah, I loved it. It was fun.
When it's over, I guess there must have been some major relief, because you got all the prep up until this point, and I'm sure all the nerves and, you know, all that nervous energy going into that point, I'm sure after there might have been some relief of like, I got through that, I've achieved.
Yeah, but do you know what as well? It's really weird because for say your prep for the show is 16 weeks. For those whole 16 weeks, all that's on your mind is that day of going on stage and like presenting your best. So as soon as you step off stage, there's a bit of like emptiness. I was like, oh, what now? Like I've done it. Those 16 weeks are gone. I've been on stage. What now? So I do remember feeling like a bit of emptiness that it was done, and kind of sad.
How did you successfully stand out from the rest of your competition?
So this is going to sound mad as well, but I genuinely think this is why I won the competitions that I won. And it's because, like, obviously I was committed to my prep and I was committed to my training. So my body was in peak condition. So obviously that plays a part, but I think the extra part for me anyway was genuinely believing that I had won before I had won. Sounds ridiculous, but I remember standing backstage before I'm about to walk out onto stage, and I saw all of the trophies, and I saw the biggest trophy there, and I just remember looking at it and thinking, yeah, that's mine. I thought, that's my trophy. And I remember in my head, I visualised like picking the trophy up, and I visualised them giving it to me and winning. And it sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I am convinced that because at that moment in time, that is what I believed, that's what happened. Yeah.
No, I totally get that mindset. I get that mindset. Visualization, placing yourself placing yourself there in your head as winning, achieving. I've done it.
Definitely. And I think with a show like bodybuilding, or like the competitions I did, you get judged obviously on your physique, but a big part of how you get judged is your stage presence and how you look on stage. So I think because in my head, I was convinced I'd won, that obviously showed on stage. I looked confident. So that played a part in me winning. And I genuinely believe that's why I won, because I looked at the trophy before I went out and I saw it as mine. So I saw it as, I'm just going to go on stage, show the judges that the trophy belongs to me, and that's that. Yeah.
All about that mindset.
Yeah, definitely.
Mindset of a winner.
Yeah, mindset is everything.
It is, isn't it? When you weren't competing, what was your diet like and training like?
So my training would be, like, it is extreme. I would be training 6 days a week, and towards the end of the competition, it would be about 40 minutes of cardio in the morning and then a weight training session in the evening. So twice a day. And food was completely controlled. Like everything that you eat has to be weighed out and measured, so you know exactly what you're eating.
Do you still stick to certain parts of it, or how strict are you still?
No, I'm awful now. So I think the thing with bodybuilding is the eating is so structured that once you don't have that structure, you kind of just, well, for me anyway, I just went mad with all other types of food that I wasn't allowed to eat before. So to be honest, it's not the healthiest sport. It probably does mess up your relationship with food. So yeah, for now, I just try and eat food that's going to like fuel my training, and I'm going to enjoy eating as well. But I don't weigh any food out anymore.
I can well imagine something being so extreme at one end. I bet you just wanted to go against all of that when you first stopped the training and that, and then
I actually had the worst time after, like, just stepping off stage. It sounds ridiculous, but it's so difficult to stop eating. So once you're suddenly allowed to eat, like all these donuts and chocolate, I hadn't eaten for like 16 weeks. I hadn't touched any of it. I remember eating something and being like, I physically can't stop eating. My stomach is hurting, but I can't stop. Yeah, it's mad.
A Krispy Kreme 12-pack, yeah?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah, all of them. Because service stations always have Krispy Kremes, don't they? So every single service station on the way back from competitions, 12-pack, all of them. So bad.
Right. How do you react to people who see it as some type of glorified peep show?
Oh, yeah. I was meant to find out, what's a peep show?
Just something to pervert, basically.
Oh, my phone's falling. Oh yeah, I know, peep show.
The American term.
Pardon?
An American term.
Yeah, that's why I thought you're American. No. Yeah, I guess, I mean, there's obviously a certain aspect of it that people will assume that because the girls are in bikinis and the bodybuilding guys are in like really small thongs or like shorts.
Yeah.
Like budgie smugglers. So I guess there's a certain type of person who will be interested in going to the shows only because of that. But I think at the end of the day, you can't step on stage unless you've been committed to your training and to your diet. So yeah, I think anybody who's been on stage or who's seen people on stage, they'll know the commitment that kind of takes.
I think that's important because you know what it is though, because people can just see something and they don't realize the prep all the competitors go through to get to that point.
Yeah.
They're seeing these images and they just think, oh yeah, it's just, women or men showing off their bodies and that's it. But they don't realize the hard work and dedication it takes to even get to that point. And I think that's the key thing which is good about this interview as well. Can open the eyes to some people and think, oh, actually, I didn't know you guys train really hard. You see what I mean? Rather than I just want to kind of flaunt what I've got type thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. And there's always going to be, like, there's some people who think, oh, you shouldn't be in a bikini, like showing off all the parts of your body. You shouldn't be doing that on stage. But actually, fundamentally, it's a bodybuilding competition.
Yes.
You need to see my body. So an easy way for you to see my body is by wearing a bikini. Do you know what I mean? So
and it's about the definition and everything, isn't it? So
exactly,
they'll be looking at parts of your body and the shape you're in.
Yeah,
like
and
you said, a bikini is the best way of doing it.
Yeah, so you need to be wearing something that is revealing, but I mean that is the sport, and it'd be difficult to judge someone if they're wearing a hoodie and
like what you're wearing.
No idea. Am I in shape or not? Who knows?
That's the beauty. That's why I wear a lot of hoodies, because you can't tell.
Yeah, I love hoodies.
Right, so talk about MMA. How did you get into the sport?
So again, it was kind of like where I got so into bodybuilding, and did quite well with it. Something in my head just kind of went, oh, do you know what's next? Like, what else can I do? And then I just kind of realised that, or I thought to myself that winning all these competitions was amazing, but actually I'm just being judged on how I look. Like my physical ability in the gym is kind of irrelevant because it's just that moment on stage that they judge me. So I wanted to find a sport that was like, you're purely going to get judged on your athletic ability at that time. And I think like that fighting that's the sport where the best athlete is going to win at the end of the day. So I just kind of wanted a challenge, and yeah,
You got
went
that
from there. Yeah, I just fancied a challenge, and I thought, and also, do you know what, a few people, because transitioning from bodybuilding into like fighting in a cage, a lot of people said you can't do that, like that's ridiculous, you can't do that. And I think that spurred me on to want to do it even more. So
I'll tell you what, I can see the connection though, because of the discipline and the
yeah,
training and the commitment.
yeah, so yeah, you're right, even though they look like they're miles apart, they're actually really similar, because you need to have that 100% laser focus on that one thing. That's the similarities between bodybuilding and fighting. And I think that's what, because I love having that distraction, that's what kind of influenced me into MMA, Muay Thai, because I wanted that distraction. I wanted to focus for a fight.
I'm curious, when you first got a punch to the face, was you thinking second thoughts about the whole thing, or?
I'm trying to remember when that was. Do you know what? I think I was telling my coach that I wanted to fight before I'd even been sparring. And I remember
really?
he looked at me and he was like, and he said, yeah, you want to get punched in the face first before you decide if you're going to fight. Because, I had never been punched in the face. Like, I don't have fights outside of the gym, so I'd never been punched. But yeah, I think when I first was sparring and I got punched in the face, and instead of me thinking, oh, I hate this, it kind of like ignited a fire inside me. I was like, yeah, I want to get you back. So, yeah.
I get that. I quite like the whole thing, because especially women fighting and getting involved in what was so-called only men's sports, and only men can compete in this type of thing. I think it's great, because for me and women, it's empowerment, isn't it? It's showing that
definitely
you can do what you want, and I think that's great role models to young girls, young ladies, whatever, who are growing up and think, instead of there being this whole block, oh, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's great, and that's opened the doors to, women wanting to, having that ability to be able to say, oh yeah, if I just need to be dedicated, but I can go and do this if I want to.
Yeah.
And it should be that way.
Definitely, yeah. Because maybe 10, 20 years ago, if you went into a bodybuilding gym, there wouldn't be a girl there. Now the weights area of the gym, and it's maybe like there's a lot of girls there. And the same with the martial arts gym, there wouldn't be any women. And now most gyms have at least 1 or 2 women that train there. So it is good.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. I like the way things are going.
Yeah,
that's progress, isn't it?
Yeah, it's progress for sure.
Right. What's your favorite strike or submission to use in any fight?
So I think for me, I've got quite heavy legs, so I love a low kick. Love to low kick the leg. Yeah, probably that, or a kick, body kick.
You like
body
the kicking?
Kick or low kick? I like kicking. Yeah,
You got a lot of power in
my
the
thing.
legs.
Yeah, I've got powerful legs. Yeah, my hands aren't that good, to be fair.
Oh, really?
They need to be better. No, they're terrible, to be honest. But I've got good kicks.
Who was your biggest inspiration?
I think, I don't really have a lot of role models, like maybe celebrities or anybody that I look up to. So my biggest inspiration is probably my parents, to be honest. Yeah,
That's
they're
people you
awesome.
can trust.
Pardon?
That's people you can trust.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. People I can trust, and they're hard workers as well, and they're nice people. So yeah, they
Yeah,
inspire me every day.
I saw that post about your dad that I think was nice. That was quite touching on Insta.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. My
nice.
dad, well, he's done good for himself.
Are you considering having any more fights in the future?
So I think, excuse me, Corona. Not really.
Don't say-
Oh no, I need to cough now. Excuse me. So I think, like, obviously where COVID happened, all the gyms were shut. So, and actually before COVID, I hadn't sparred in ages.
Yeah.
So I haven't been punched in the face for a very long time. And now I kind of watch fights and stuff, and I see people get punched in the face. And I'm actually not sure if it's something I want to do anymore.
I hear
But
that.
I definitely, I love the training. I'll always be training Muay Thai. Like, it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel strong and happy. But I'll have to see, like, when I spar again, I'll have to see how I feel about it.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I never say never, because you never know what happens in my life.
And you're smiling
Everything
when you
changes.
say it.
Yeah.
What did it mean for you to be a fighter?
So I think for me, like, being a fighter, it was more, it wasn't just around the actual sport. It was kind of like my mentality for life. I felt like,
yeah,
if I can be locked in a cage with a girl that wants to knock me out and hurt me, then I can kind of do anything. So if I wake up one day and I'm having a shit day and I feel like, do you know what, I can't do today, I can't do anything, I'll remind myself, you're a fighter, you can do anything, like, just get up and show up, just do it.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that helps me
Like for life, like
a lot.
kind of your whole mentality for life and
Yeah,
achieving in life and stuff like that.
yeah.
Right? You have to be though, don't you? Because you're gonna get knocked down a
Definitely.
few times, and
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, if I'm struggling with anything, any aspects of life, which we all struggle, like, everyone
yeah,
has their own struggles, especially during COVID as well. And where the gym was my kind of like my
yeah,
therapy.
that's your place.
Yeah, that was my place. And then for that to be taken away, I was just like, oh, but I just tell myself, you got this, you're a fighter, just keep going.
What do you think separated you from other fighters?
Again, I think that confidence thing, like with the bodybuilding,
Yeah,
because actually I probably shouldn't have had that much confidence as a fighter, because I was quite new to it, and stuff, and I hadn't had as much experience. But for whatever reason, I've just got this weird confidence in my head that just tells me, like, you can do it.
yeah. No,
So
I hear that. And again,
yeah,
was it the whole visualizing thing again?
yeah.
That you'd won the fight before it actually begun.
Yeah, I did try with that, although it didn't work once. I lost the fight. But yeah, but I did still visualize. But this fight that I lost, the girl was a lot taller than me, so I wasn't.
It
I
was the
didn't get.
reach, yeah? Her reach and
Yeah, it was frustrating. Like, she was a really good fighter, and I didn't get injured, but because obviously her arms and legs were longer, so she was first to the punch, first to the kick, so she won on points.
oh right, okay.
So yeah.
It happens, doesn't it? Even to the best.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's just that confidence. I think that's always going to set you apart, because you could literally have the best technical fighter, someone who's been training 10 years, their technique's amazing. If they haven't got the confidence and they're in the ring or the cage against someone who has got that self-belief and confidence, I think, the confidence always kind of shines through.
Yeah, I hear that. What was that feeling of when you won a fight? What was that like?
Yeah, it's the best feeling again. It's kind of like winning the lottery or something. Not that I've ever won the lottery, but how you imagine that to feel. Just like, yeah. And it was, do you know what? I got quite emotional as well, because it was like, again, you've worked really hard for this moment. And you've made a lot of sacrifices to get in the cage as well. So yeah, it meant a lot.
Let's talk about your company, CBD
Yeah.
Love. Mm.
Yes. So um, originally, I started off with the vape bar. This is because I was vaping and kind of putting it on my Instagram stories. And people were writing to me saying like, oh, what are you vaping today? Where did you get it from?
Yeah.
And I'd be sending links to what I'm vaping. And I just thought, oh, do you know what? I should probably be making some money myself from this because everybody's kind of interested in it.
Yeah.
So I started off selling it online, and I had some CBD products and CBD vaping stuff.
Okay.
I think because my following was mainly a lot of like fitness people or
Yeah.
martial artists, the CBD was doing the best, so it was selling quite well. So about a year after I started the vape bar, I rebranded just the CBD stuff to CBD Love.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we're at now. I've got a lot of fighters who follow me,
Cool.
who use the CBD for recovery, and to help with injuries and stuff as well. So yeah.
So that was that your inspiration, was to do it to help support
Yeah.
fighters and
Yeah, because I was quite involved in that industry, so I knew that with fighting, like injuries is such a huge part of the game as well, and also overtraining, because obviously if you signed up for a fight, you want to be training as much as you can, so it's hard to not overtrain. But if you're overtraining, your body can't recover, and then you're not getting the best out of your training sessions. So yeah, I just knew CBD was important for a fighter as well. So I wanted to kind of sell it, make it more popular.
yeah, why not? Has your previous life experience helped you to deal with the highs and lows of starting a business?
I guess that, so what I learned from being a fighter, that fighter mentality, because I think, isn't it like 90% of businesses, like first businesses fail because it's just
Yeah, in the
tough,
first year.
and you just, yeah, in the first year. So you just have to keep going. Like, you have to be a fighter. Like, you might have a day or a week where you're like, I haven't made anywhere near enough money. Like, what am I going to do? But for me, it's just that I refuse to give up. So I'll keep going, and I'll keep putting the work in. And one day, well, as each day goes on, it will become more and more successful. Yeah.
No, I hear that. What's your plans for the future of the company? What you can tell me, that is.
Ooh, what can I tell you? Yeah, so now that the gyms are open again, which is awesome, I'm just going to go back to where I was, which was promoting it more in gyms and stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so even not just martial arts gyms, like all types of gyms. Lots of athletes want to use like CBD. But yeah, I'm also branching out into like the skincare, I guess, industry as
Okay.
well, with CBD products. So yeah, and hair care. So that's exciting. So I'll be getting around to loads of barbershops and getting
Wow.
them to stock my products.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool. Why
yeah,
not?
it should be good.
Now that all those businesses have opened, and yeah, definitely
Yeah,
get out there.
exactly. Yeah,
And that'd be
keep me
good
busy
anyway,
as well.
something they haven't seen before maybe, or, reaching out to
Yeah,
customers you haven't reached out to before. I think that's a really good idea.
yeah, definitely.
Where do you
Yes.
see yourself in 5 years' time?
Oh no, I don't know.
One of these career questions, you know?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, but I don't really think that far ahead. And the reason why is because I'll be 35 in 5 years' time, and I don't even want to think about that.
Forget about the age. Where would you ideally want to be, sorry, in 5 years' time?
Yeah, I guess what I just want to be doing in 5 years' time is I want to still be able to train every day, be able to be successful with my business, and to be happy, and to hopefully be helping other people and making other people happy and helping other people with my CBD.
Cool, that sounds really positive.
That's a 5-year plan.
That's a nice positive plan though.
Oh,
Helping
good.
others
Yeah.
plus helping
Because it's mad.
yourself. That's nice. That's how it should be, isn't it? You try and do things that can help others and make a difference.
Yeah. And it's mad how quickly a year goes now as well. So I'm thinking 5 years is going to go so quick.
Yeah, it will, because time's flying. Look at this year.
Oh, it's mad, isn't it? Time
Like,
goes
where's
too
this year
fast.
gone? I still remember New Year.
Yeah, I know.
So we're in
I know.
July. Come to the end of
Yeah,
July.
don't. It's ridiculous. Crazy.
And remember, we've been in lockdown for quite a lot of that. So.
Yeah, and how did lockdown go so fast, to be honest? I thought it would go
It's just
slowly,
weird.
but yeah.
Didn't you always find when you were a child, the summer holidays used to take forever?
Yeah.
Life used to seem to go so slow.
Yeah.
And the older you got, the more time flew. Now, is that because we're just a lot more busier?
Yeah. I'm trying to work it out as well, because I remember people always said to me, like, the older you get, the faster time will go.
Yeah, same here.
And it's actually true. The weeks go like this now, and I can't comprehend it. I can't get my head around it, but yeah, I guess I
And
just have
maybe
to get used to it.
that goes back to the saying that life's too short.
Yeah, it is. So that's why, yeah, just got to make the most of every day, try and be happy every day.
You do, and just make the most of it. I try anyway. I try as much as I can to say, right, okay, let me make the most of this day. What am I up to? What am I doing? And kind of just keep focused.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's next for Kat Freeman?
What is next? So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, keep pushing forward. Now the gyms are open, get to the gyms a lot more, promote my CBD more. I'm actually going to do a bike ride, London to Paris as well. So yeah.
I saw that. Wow.
Doing me.
Do you feel ready?
No, I'm not ready, but I will be. I will be. Yeah.
Oh dear. Any advice for anyone looking to go into MMA?
Definitely just do it. Just find a gym near to you, turn up to the gym, and you'll be surprised at how nice the people are there as well. Because I think everyone has kind of got a pre idea that, you know, fighters won't be nice, but honestly, some of the nicest people I know are fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about bodybuilding? Same again?
Yeah, same again. Do it, but just be aware that, you know, it might kind of mess your relationship up with food for a little while, but that's all part of it.
And relationships in general, or is it all right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're going to have to be really selfish to do that sport, to be honest. And I guess when you're selfish, you're not going to be the best friend or partner or whoever. But
a kind of single-mindedness, yeah? A focus on what you want to do and achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is quite... Would it have been quite lonely at times, thinking that way, or you're right?
Yeah, I guess it was. Because people who don't do it kind of don't understand your mindset. So you do feel a little bit alone. But then you make friends with all the people who are in it.
Yeah.
But then you're all in your bubble together, and it's not real life. So it is quite weird.
Any advice about anyone setting up their own business?
So again, it's one of those things where I think if you wait for a moment when you're ready to do it, that moment's kind of never going to happen, because you'll always think, oh, I don't know enough about this, I don't know enough about that. And I don't know if this is bad advice, but for me, like I'm learning as I go along. I'm learning something new every day, and I think that's kind of how it has to be. Otherwise, I never would have started something. So you've just got to go for it.
I hear that, and
Put the work in.
I totally agree with that, because it was the same with this podcast, starting this podcast that I've been putting off for so long.
Yeah.
And the original idea was going to be me just kind of doing the editing, directing, and putting it together, and someone else was going to be the face of this. And then a friend of mine said to me, like, that should be your brand. Why? It's your idea. Just do it. And I was like, what? Me? Why am I? What do I know about doing this?
Yeah. That's the thing. We just have to do it, and you learn as you go, don't you?
And that was the biggest thing. Once I did like a test one with a friend. And once I did that, then there was kind of like no going back. You know, those fears, those initial fears about doing it. I still get the anxiety. I still get the, oh, why am I doing, what do I know? I'm a novice. I'm learning. I'm no expert. Whose idea is this?
I think that's human nature, isn't it? We always kind of self-doubt ourselves, but you literally just have to ignore that voice in your head and you just have to go for it, which you've done. So that's awesome.
Or you'd never achieve if you listen to that voice.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, they
We'd
say that,
always
don't
be,
they? Like,
go on.
yeah, that yourself is your biggest is the biggest thing that's holding you back is
Yeah,
yourself. You just gotta,
definitely. It is,
yeah,
it is all these doubts that we have, and you know, we
self-doubt,
put
yeah.
ourselves, what our own biggest critics we are.
Yeah, very
You know,
true.
yeah, but that's not the worst thing. But you just got to make sure it doesn't stop you from doing that. So
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing about it. That's okay to be able, because self-reflection's a massive thing, because you have a lot of people who can't do that, and
yeah,
always
that's
blame
true.
others and say, oh no, that's your fault. That's rather than saying, oh, actually, what was my role in this?
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a big thing, but it's, you just need to make sure you don't let it hold you back from achieving and doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so you definitely need to go for something, but at the same time not be deluded and think that you can do it without, research and preparation. But you do just need to go for it and not wait for the perfect time, because there'll never be a perfect time for anything.
And another bit of great advice from a friend of mine who said to me, she said, look, I know you're a perfectionist and you want everything to be perfect, but it's
Yeah,
never going to be perfect, and you need to accept that.
yeah,
But what it will be with experience and time, closer to that perfection that you're searching for.
yeah,
So she's basically telling me that in the initial stage, it's not going to be great. And that's impossible to think it will be, because you don't have the experience and you've not done it before. But
yeah,
long way down the line, like that 5 years or whatever, you should be near that perfection that you're talking about, because you have the experience to get you to that point.
yeah,
So
definitely.
so that's the advice I took, and I was like, you're right, because I'm always
Yeah,
going on about, oh, I want it this, it has to be like this, and but how is it going to be that great if I've never done it before
yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
learning?
Yeah, you need to gain the experience, don't you?
So it's
Somehow.
just, I think it's more about us being easier on ourselves in the initial stages. Let's not be our biggest critic to that extent. Let's give ourselves a bit of leeway, a bit of a
Yeah,
pause in the beginnings, until we get to that point of a bit of comfort and we know where we're at and we got the experience and stuff. And then we can start coming down on ourselves a bit more and say, right, now we got that. Now where are we taking this? And, how can I reach that perfection that I always wanted to be at? So
yeah.
that's a bit of my advice.
Yeah, no, really good advice. Because yeah, sometimes being a perfectionist can be what's holding you back as
Yeah,
well from starting something. Because yeah, not everything's always going to be perfect.
it won't. Well,
Yeah,
human error.
yeah,
We have that in us, unfortunately. We're not robots, so there's going to be times where we bring out something, we're like, oh, it wasn't quite it. I wanted Kat to say that. I needed to say this more. I needed to,
yeah,
all these things. But the
yeah.
main thing is that,
Just do it.
you have a gist of who you are and your character and your personality and what you're doing, and that's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
What platforms can people find you on, Kat?
So you can find me on Instagram at catfreeman11 and at CBD Love UK. Yeah, my main platform's Instagram.
Cool. I just want to thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for your time. Thank you for chatting to me. It's been
It's
a
all
good
right.
chat.
It's been a pleasure. Have a nice
It
day,
has.
Kat. Yeah.
Thank you. See you
I'll see you
soon.
soon. See you
Thank
later.
you.
Bye bye.